Hello, mysterious person behind the screen, and welcome back to our ongoing series of Spider-Man audio commentaries. I'm once again joined by Isaac.
Hello.
And this time we're doing another pretty controversial film in the Spider-Man canon, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I believe there's only one cut of this film. Without further ado,
if you'd like to sync this up with the Blu-ray copy of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, put the film to the start and press play in 3, 2, 1, go. I did see this in the cinema when it came out.
Yeah.
I remember liking it pretty well, and my thoughts haven't changed that much. I still think it's fine. I don't think it's the cinematic abomination that a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, when it came out, there were a lot of 1 out of 10 reviews and 0 out of 10 reviews, and I think it's deeply flawed. It is deeply flawed, but there's a lot of good stuff in it, which I guess we'll talk about as we go.
Just thinking back to 2014, I'm just thinking about the comic book films we got that year. What was probably the worst? I won't call this the worst of that year. I'm
trying to think what came out that year.
It was a pretty strong year because we had Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Days of Future Past, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. It was a good year in general for films.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was 2014. Yeah.
Yeah.
That film just seemed to that came and went without much fanfare at all, considering how much it was
true, yeah,
controversial before it came out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember when the year ended, people were putting this on their worst films of the year list, and I thought, it's not that bad, surely.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I probably would have said, before the MCU films came out, that this was the worst Spider-Man film, but my opinion has since changed in the years since. But I think this kind of, it's so odd for me because it's this kind of this relic, and it seems to, as is the case with the Andrew Garfield films in general, they don't seem to have made much of an impact these days at all. They've kind of been forgotten about.
Yeah, there is the debate, what's worse, this or Spider-Man 3, and I don't know, I kind of flip-flop every day. One day it's Spider-Man 3, the other day it's this.
They're very similar to each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but, one thing I definitely can't call this film is boring, because there's always something going on. I'm always entertained by it.
Yeah.
And again, I think in recent years, this was before the DCE really kicked off, and there's far worse out there.
Oh god, yeah, definitely.
The new Suicide Squad came out recently, and I saw it was a 15 rating, and I thought, oh, nice. Then when the film started, I was like, oh, now I get why it's a 15, because for the first one, the David Ayer version, that 15 rating was a joke.
Oh yeah,
I've seen PG films that are more explicit than that.
I don't get why that first one was a 15, because it was PG-13 in America, so everyone was like, it'll be 12 over here because that's the equivalent. But for some reason, it was a 15 over here, and I'll never understand why. Whereas the sequel is a hard 15.
Definitely,
pushing into 18 at points.
Whenever we get the next Spider-Man reboot, they should just call it The Spider-Man to differentiate from the last one.
Well, that seems to be the trend recently. We've got The Batman coming out next year, of course.
Right, this guy's clearly an agent of Oscorp. He's killed the pilot. Why does he keep up the pretense for at least another minute? Just go in there, shoot them both, Boom, and
Yeah,
is the pilot and the dead pilot's piloting the plane?
yeah. This this makes no sense. This is
mean,
just yeah.
What did you think was going to happen, Johnny English?
I mean, this is the first part of the film where things have been cut out. So that's you know, as with our first commentary for this film, take a shot every time we say in the deleted scenes.
Yeah, honestly, this film is packed to burst with subplots, and this is definitely my least favourite of them because it's just so not interesting in the slightest, and it just drags the film down.
Yeah.
But then again, if they kept the alternate ending, then
wow, yeah,
these scenes could have had an impact because, I mean, that alternate ending, yeah, I'm glad they cut it, but I think Garfield's acting in that is great because he doesn't welcome his dad back with open arms or just say, yeah, you're back. He just says, no, you're not my dad. You're not my dad.
Yeah,
you're not my dad. He's dead.
Yeah, it's incredible acting from him. But the thing is, if they're going to cut that, these scenes don't really have a need to be as long as they are.
Exactly. Yeah, this doesn't feel like a. Yeah. Sometimes I look at the Blu-ray cover and just think, I am watching a Spider-Man movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like the opening to Home Alone 3. It's so not like a Home Alone film.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
Have you ever seen Snakes on a Plane?
Oh God!
Spoilers! Bang!
But like, coming off it'll become apparent in a minute when we get to the Spider-Man stuff. But coming off the first one, this is stylistically so different.
It is, yeah.
And it's the same director.
Yeah, I do think visually we have got the best looking Spider-Man film here.
It's nice looking, yeah.
It's got very nice comic book style like colours, and the villains are pretty colourful as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's upbeat and peppy, and it never felt too much like a tonal shift for me from the last film because Spider-Man's origin is quite dark and depressing. So I think once he becomes Spider-Man, having a bit more fun with it is all right for the sequel, I think.
Yeah, for me, it's more the visual style. It's such a radical departure from the last one. At the time, it didn't really, I didn't really feel odd about it or anything. It's just, I think when you watch them in such close proximity, we're back to shooting on film here. This is once again shot on film. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was shot digitally. It's so much more colourful. Right. If you told me if it was a different director, I wouldn't argue.
Yeah. I did say in the Dark Knight commentary, both of these films have a very similar villain structure. You've got the villain you take out in the first 5 minutes. You've got the main villain, Electro / Joker, and you've got the good guy who turns into a villain, Harry Osborn, Harvey Dent.
That's very true.
Yep.
I mean, what is Paul Giamatti doing here?
He fucking goes for it. He's like, I'm in this for 5 minutes. Well, I'm going for it. Stay hello to existing damage.
Didn't he say as a joke he wanted to play the Rhino, and then somebody took him seriously?
Yeah, he said it on like the Conan O'Brien show because he always wanted to play him, and I'd love to see him back as the Rhino in say No Way Home, but heck, with all the supposed cast announcements, I mean, I think Tom Holland is going to be the highest paid extra in the world.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. I feel really sorry for him. He's having his own film hijacked.
I know.
So the quips here, like, they're cool quips. I like the quips, but at a point, it's like he's shooting outside the window. He's running people over.
He's running people over. To maybe not do your stand-up routine.
Yeah, exactly. It feels awkward, and it doesn't feel like it's the right place for it to happen.
Yeah.
It just sort of takes the tension out of it for me. Even though they're fun, they are fun quips. It's just like, well, time and a place.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Yay! I saved one person, but probably killed about 6 people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I do like this because this is a Spider-Man who would go out of his way to make someone feel better. Yeah.
It kicks off a trend of really amazing Spider-Man scenes in this. No pun intended.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there are moments like you divorce these moments from the context of the film, and they are just fantastic.
And again, the scene we get later where he saves a kid from being bullied.
Oh god,
yeah, that is Spider-Man. That's great. And
it's gorgeous, yeah.
I always felt if you called Spider-Man Homecoming your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, then that would also be an appropriate title.
It would fit.
God, this looks like a scene from GTA 5 where you have to hijack a lorry.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, get him, Spidey. Wait, aren't we cops? Shouldn't we do something? Well, that guy's dead.
So many of these people are dead.
Yeah.
That feels very Tom Holland there, actually. I think this is probably the first time in ages I've watched this since watching the Tom Holland films. That bit there in the van with the canisters, that felt very Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, that's too much. Why? That's like Batman having the 60s ringtone on his phone.
Yeah.
No! Yeah. Or Superman having the John Williams theme on his phone.
Yeah. And we're about to get the first appearance of Ghost Leary.
Yeah. I never found this that comical. I mean, Willem Dafoe came back as a ghost and people were okay with that.
I think for me it's just the way he's just staring more than anything else. It's the fact that he's just sat there, and then later on we get him just stood there just going Meh. Just like stood there like glaring at
what if it was Uncle Ben being like, you gonna find my killer or what?
Yeah. To be honest, as an idea, like, people like to really, really take the piss out of it. I've never really found it that funny. It's more like, I don't, because a lot of people are like, oh, why did they put a ghost in this film? I'm like, well, I don't really have a problem with it in concept.
It's an honour to be standing up here today. I'm 30 years old and I'm finally graduating. Only 12 years late.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't just get away with it because they have got quite youthful-looking faces.
Yeah, they get away with it. Also, there he sprayed Spidey with the water from the thing on his car. That sprayed directly outwards. If he was using that to actually clean his windscreen, that would not do anything. It just sprayed directly outwards.
The Daily Bugle.
Yeah. And of course later on we get an email from J. Jonah Jameson.
Wrong! And here's a nice Easter egg. He's wearing rhino underwear. Hey!
Oh yeah, it took me years to notice that. I was just like...
Well, I didn't expect you to zoom in on Paul Giamatti's ass.
Yeah. I like that, the gun dropping on his head. That's funny.
Yeah.
So every time I watch this, I am surprised about how much I like him there. And then I guess when we get into the middle of the film, when it gets to all the nonsense in the subway, I tend to be like, now I remember. Now I remember this ain't the greatest, but
I think I know that guy. I've seen a take of this where he kisses her and her cap falls off, so I can see why there he's holding it for her.
yeah.
I mean, even if I had a girlfriend and graduating, I would definitely not do that.
It's just a bit of a dickhead thing to do, isn't it?
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to kiss someone in front of millions of hundreds of people. Yeah, I bet for the next Spider-Man reboot, Aunt May is no longer going to be his aunt. It's going to be his niece.
His niece, yeah.
This is my niece, May.
See, this is all great. This just little conversations with Peter and Aunt May, it's all great.
Again, it's where Mark Webb really does shine.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just Sony was like, let's make a cinematic universe out of Spider-Man. Let's have an Aunt May prequel.
Yeah, well, you've probably seen or heard a lot about those leaked emails from the Sony hack in 2014.
Yeah, weren't they? So, I mean, how long after this film came out did they think, shit, we need to reboot it again? A month?
I mean,
I think it was like... When did the Sony hack... Yeah, when did the Sony hack happen? Was it Christmas 2014?
Around then, yeah. I think it was late 2014.
Yeah, because weren't there plans to get Sam Raimi back to do a new trilogy?
Yes, yeah. So that was a thing that was going to happen. Another thing they were planning on doing something called what was it now? Silver and Black, which was supposed to be a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie.
Silver who?
Silver Sable, who is this in the comics and in other cartoons and stuff. She's like this Russian, not terrorist, but she's kind of this Russian agent who kind of accepts different jobs and different deals and stuff. She's a hit woman essentially, and she's always a fun villain. And it's but to do a film about her and Black Cat is just like not really sure where that's. I don't know.
I can remember as early as July 2014 there was rumours that the Sinister Six movie had been cancelled, but I think I could be wrong, but I think Sony had to come out with a statement saying it's all rumour, we're still going ahead with it.
Yeah.
6 months later, cancelled.
Yeah. Well, they set a date for Amazing Spider-Man 3, didn't they? It was supposed to be 2016. Was supposed to be 3, so that was all ready to go. That was all set.
But then I remember they swapped Sinister Six and ASM3 because Sinister Six came out 2016, was going to come out 2016. ASM3 was then pushed back to 2018.
Yeah.
And yeah, was Spider-Man even going to be in the Sinister Six film?
It would have been weird if he wasn't. It would have been really weird if he wasn't. That's just such a odd thing to do. I just don't get. It's Avi Arad again, isn't it? He loves his villains and he just wants to focus on them. But there were all sorts of things. Another one of the emails was like some Sony executive was like, was it EDM? There was like a dance craze or dance movement going around at the time, and they were like, how can we incorporate this into Spider-Man films? Maybe we could have Spider-Man endorsing EDM because he's a very athletic person, so therefore we could incorporate the dancing. And it's just like, oh my god, sake. They really were just hyping on whatever trend was coming along.
Oh god. Yeah, Drew, and then we're gonna get Drew Goddard to do the Sinister Six. Yeah. I mean, I can't even recall if he ever did an interview about it. As in saying like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be directing the Sinister Six movie." if he made any plans or concept art for it. I don't know.
Yeah. I swear to God, half of those things where it was like, this person is signed up to do this. I bet you if you asked those people at the time, they were like, am I? I don't fucking know. Because half of it felt like they were just naming people, throwing out names into the wind, and saying, yes, they're definitely attached. Because the amount of people that were pulling out, and it makes you wonder how many were actually signed on to begin with. Because those emails were just producers throwing names into the wind and seeing what stuck. Funnily enough, I think this film has the opposite problem of the Star Wars prequels, because the thing with those films is when they're fast paced and the action scenes and everything, they're really enjoyable, but then when it slows down, that's when the cracks show. For me, it's the opposite with this. Is like when it speeds up and we're getting all the flashy villains and everything, that's when the weaknesses show. But when it slows down and has those character interactions, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the opposite problem. And this scene's just...
this is great. I love it.
More of this, please. This is just fantastic. And him taking the time to walk him home as well.
I know, yeah.
Ignore the fact that the kid says his name's Jorge there, and then later on they say his name's Joe, but whatever.
Do they? Because I thought his mum was shouting, no,
I thought
not no, Joe. I've even turned on the subtitles, and I'm sure it says no.
There's debate around it in there. It's the way she enunciates. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much.
I mean, from what I heard, they were going to call the kid Joe as his character name, but the kid's real name is Jorge, I think, and because he didn't understand that when they were saying Joe, they meant him, they just were like, keep his name as Jorge then.
Oh, okay. That's okay, cool. That makes sense.
Him getting the cough medicine in his Spidey suit, that's honestly something that you'd seen like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a really fun moment. That whole montage there was great. It's funny, like I said, it's when the film seems to have no stakes, I like it, but like as soon as villains come into the picture, I couldn't give a shit. But I just like him stopping random crimes and worrying about his girlfriend. That's why I like it. That's the stuff I enjoy.
Plus, also, his suit looks fantastic. It's probably the best suit we've had for a Spider-Man film.
The suit's really nice, yeah.
And again, these interactions are funny here. Like, I was cleaning the chimney. We don't have a chimney. What? Yeah.
She walks in on her teenage son who says he's very naked with pictures of Emma Stone all over his wall. I wonder what's happening there.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the whole parent thing should have been resolved in the first film.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This film just... It doesn't, for me, seem like the logical continuation of the first one in quite a lot of ways.
Well, it's a different writers, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
because it was Did Alvin Sargent do the first Amazing Spider-Man?
I don't think he wrote the whole thing, but he definitely contributed a lot to it. I think he was given like a co-writing credit, maybe.
Yeah, and here it was Alex Kurtzman, Jeff Pinker,
was it
Roberto Orsi?
Yeah, they love their Magic Blood plotline. because they wrote Star Trek Into
I mean,
Darkness as well.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but the Honest Trailer, I think, pointed that out.
They love magic blood.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Jamie Foxx doing his best Jim Carrey in Batman Forever, or Guy Pearce from Iron Man 3, and then of course Kristen Wiig in Wonder Woman 84 does it a few years later.
Yeah, I've not seen Wonder Woman 84. I mean, I've said this before, but there's only been one superhero film who's done the geek turn villain right, and that's The Incredibles.
Essentially, yeah.
And that's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's time to retire this trope, because by the time they did it in Wonder Woman 84, it was just like, Jesus, this is just...
There's plenty of geeks on... I mean, to be honest, you could do it today, but the thing is, the furthest they'd go is probably nasty YouTube videos, because that's what happens today. Then again, just think of it this way. What would a horrible YouTuber do who spouts garbage on the internet for a living? What would happen if they got superpowers?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Let's think.
I mean, to be honest, that's the thing. They just do the same thing the same way. I think that's the problem with the trope. It's just that they've not evolved it since 1995 with the Riddler.
Yep.
We missed it there. The whole his voice for Spider-Man. I like
it a lot. I like it a lot, Max. No way you turn around and know why they call me Whippet.
Also, the birthday cake with the Electro costume on it from the comics.
The green and yellow,
And the lightning bolts.
So for No Way Home, apparently they're establishing that Jamie Foxx is playing Electro again, but it's not this Electro, is it?
Yeah, he's not blue. He said many times he isn't blue.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see how they do if they pull off the green and yellow outfit from the comics, because it's pretty silly looking, but I bet they could make it work.
There are ways to do it. Look at the Marvel Spider-Man, the PS4 game that did it quite well. I'm actually just searching up right now because I said last week that there was a quote from Sally Field about this film, and I'm just going to search it up because I really want to find it.
And we do have another Easter egg here. Is he called Alistair Smythe, and he's the Spider Slayer?
Yes, he's the Spider Slayer. Yeah, he's involved with all that in many adaptations.
Does he make? If I'm wrong, correct me. Does he make robot spiders?
Yes, yeah. So
so he's Cassandra from Doctor Who then.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, and this for me at the time, this was the first tip off that they were saying that the tie-in video game for the first film wasn't canon because Alistair Smythe was in that and he died.
Oh, okay.
So this writes that out of the canon. But yeah, okay. So this is the quote from Sally Fields. She said about the film, "You can't put £10 of shit in a £5 bag. It's really hard to find a 3-dimensional character anywhere in that film."
Oh my!
So there you go.
Wow.
So yeah, that was. Does he come up again, Alistair Smythe, in this, or is it literally just that one cameo?
No, he comes up in a little bit when everyone's leaving and they say you have to stay behind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's when you know what his name is. I think he goes Smythe. Oh, I mean Mr. Smythe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just yeah. I mean, he plays it well. BJ Novak is really great at being a dickhead.
You designed them. Yeah, and I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to him. He's just got one of those faces that is just like, yeah, I can believe he was a bit of a dickhead. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but
well, yeah, because he played one of the Sherman brothers in Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah.
I love that. I'd love to invite you, but the guest list is closed. You don't have any friends. You're the Meg Griffin of New York.
The Meg Griffin of New York.
You little liar. Mom, Dad, I'm supposed to go out, not babysit Stewie. I have friends, you know. Okay, Meg, if you don't want to have stay here and look after Stewie. That's fine, but don't you lie to me like that. Do you remember my name?
I've got to say, Jamie Foxx, he does go for it, and because he's a pretty cool customer in real life.
Yeah, because he's he's a singer as well. He's very I mean, he's probably not the guy I'd think who'd be ignored all his life, but he plays it pretty well, and
they do it well, yeah.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing him back again. And right, also question about No Way Home. I know we keep mentioning a lot, but are we getting a trailer for it, or are we literally going to have to wait until it's out?
I mean, well, personally, at this point in time, and this may date the commentary because it might have happened after this, but I personally think it's going to be delayed because they've delayed Venom, Let There Be Carnage. They've pushed that back a month because of the COVID variant. So personally, I think it's going to be delayed. It would not surprise me.
They'll call this one the Electro variant.
The Electro variant, yeah, perfect, yeah. But I mean, if they're not delaying it and it is coming out in December, we are not that long away from it. And it's
because just thinking back to other December releases like Star Wars, we'd usually get a trailer for them around about April, May time, something like that.
Yeah, April, May would usually be a good bet, a good 7 months, 7-8 months before the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird to me that we've seen nothing. We don't know anything about it, which is why if the multiverse stuff isn't in it, people are going to be very disappointed because
if all of that multiverse stuff is going to be a post-credit scene.
Or can you imagine the outrage?
Yeah.
So this all puzzles me because, as many discuss in the trailer here, we had a line where it was these two are talking and Harry goes like, "What about Peter?" And Norman Osborn goes, "Not everybody has a happy ending." But of course, in this scene, Harry hasn't met Peter yet. Or he hasn't been reintroduced to him yet, so why would he be asking about him? So it's either that was shot for the trailer, or it's evidence of how fucked with the film was.
The Batman has to come back. Yeah, I wonder, does he have a disease in the comics, or is it just an invention of this film?
I think it's an invention of this film. It's.
I mean, I'll say this. It is kind of a callback to the first film with the whole cross-species genetics thing, and why it only works on Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I suppose that was a decent answer.
Yeah. Well, again, in the trailer, there's that whole bit where it's like Harry's showing him something, and Peter's like, "What is all this? What's happening?" And he's like, "Isn't that the question of the day?" Not in the film.
Yeah.
It's just like, well,
it is on the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, but again, even that thing in the trailer. Yeah, what about Peter? Not everybody has a happy ending. That's not in the deleted scene collection.
And you know who isn't in the deleted scene collection? Mary Jane Watson.
That's true. Yeah,
that's the whole character. They wrote the scenes, they shot the scenes, and there's no evidence at all that she was in this film.
Because
it was Shailene Woodley playing her.
That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wrong. I like that as well. The third one down is no way. These are crap.
Yeah.
Just imagine J.K. Simmons saying it.
Reminds me of The Simpsons. Homer doesn't mean to be rude. He's just a very complicated man. Smashes plate on head. Wrong.
And I like that they don't show Jameson as well, because
I like how he's hinted
so
too.
Glad they didn't recast.
Now Chris Cooper, he was considered, I think, for Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And now, yay! I'm finally a Spider-Man villain. Oh, I'm dead after one scene. Okay.
He's a decent choice for Norman Osborn, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see him from the Muppets. Um,
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
I'm Tex Richmond, Mr. Texas T. People call me rich because I got more money.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Mr. Smythe.
Yeah, I love that. Happy birthday.
So is
You
that,
do want to punch him.
is that the last time we see Smythe then? I think it is,
Yep.
isn't it? So, you would think, a logical, unless it was shot and deleted, you would think that there'd be maybe a scene of him getting his comeuppance, but... It's all gone a bit J.J. Abrams Star Trek here, with those lens flares and the, the look of the film. These guys, they should totally be arrested for that. Like,
Yeah,
just
this
leave
is-
an employee.
This is completely health and safety hazard here.
It's just it's neglect. It's-
Yeah. I've worked in a factory. We had electricians who did the electric stuff. They didn't just grab some random.
Yeah.
They didn't just say, "Stay behind, Isaac. You need to sort out the electrics."
Yeah. I work in a warehouse currently, and they don't. You don't see me being called behind after work to drive the forklift around, because there are people who are trained to do that. This isn't something that happens.
Oh, I love this as well. It fixes the gap in his teeth.
Yes, that
Yeah.
fixes the gap. Oh god.
Max, you'll be a dentist. You have a talent for causing things pain. And the whole "have a nice day."
Oh my god. Wow. A remake of this, the exact same film except with the songs from Little Shop of Horrors. That 10 times better.
I'm genuinely surprised that Oscorp has not appeared in the MCU, given that their main hero was a businessman.
Yeah. Give it time.
A tech genius. I mean, Oscorp could have been the... It might be like that in the comics. It's pretty much the anti-Stark Industries.
Well, in the comics, the Iron Patriot is Norman Osborn for a bit. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why does he make his own Iron Man suit and pretend to be a good guy?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I haven't read those particular stories myself, but yeah, I know that he's... In the comics, he does become the Iron Patriot. Dane DeHaan's giving it his best, to be fair. But
Yeah. I do like him as Harry Osborn, yeah. And we've got Black Felicia Hardy in this.
Yeah, what is the point of her being in this film?
Well, to give him that information about the spiders not being dead.
Yeah, well...
The spiders are not dead, sir. I saw them being taken to the basement.
There are things in this house I've never spoken of. Yeah, no, it's just... if you're not going to do anything with it, because they're setting her up for something, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can see why these board members conspired to kick him out, because he's a 20-year-old guy and he just put a hot young woman in charge. Of course they're going to kick him out. And also the guy who plays Menken, he's Laufey in 4, isn't he? The Frost Giant.
Is that where I know him from? Probably,
yeah. Colm Theo? I don't know how you say his name.
Yeah.
I mean, there was rumour that he was going to be the Vulture.
Oh, I could see that, actually.
I mean, the official Doctor Who page loves to promote. What's she called? Who plays Felicia? I've forgotten her name.
Oh,
Felicity
Felicity
Jones.
Jones, yeah.
Yeah, they love to promote her. They always say she's up for an Oscar. She's in Rogue One.
Oh, yeah.
She started with Doctor Who though.
And she's in Unicorn and the Wasp, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it does amaze me how far she's come. She had kind of a small role in that episode, and she's won an Oscar, been in a Spider-Man film, Star Wars. Yeah, heck, this was the same year she won the Oscar, I think.
What did she win it for?
The Theory of Everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if she won, but she might have been nominated. It was for playing Jane Hawkins, Stephen Hawking's wife.
Yeah, that would have been the same year as this, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, going back to Mark Webb's strengths as a director, these two, I think they've got good chemistry, and just from the dialogue itself, you feel like it's two old friends who haven't seen each other in years, reminiscing with each other and being nostalgic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's all good stuff, and it's playing to Mark Webb's strengths and the strength of these actors.
But when they go into hug, I keep thinking they're gonna kiss.
Yeah.
Like that scene, the scene later where Harry hugs him and says, "I need your help, Peter." I genuinely thought he was gonna go.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. This is all great. This is I don't know. It's just the way the film comes together. It's so clumsy and.
I know, yeah.
And what is he doing? What is he doing?
Did you learn nothing from that kid at Niagara Falls in Superman 2?
That's the question.
Again. I make sure when I'm being asked a question, I'll climb over a fence.
Yeah.
That's the question.
The way this is shot as well, like you got Dutch angles and everything, and it's all very different. In a way,
Gwen Stacy, she works for you. Oh, thanks. I'll remember that.
That might come up later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you kicked me off to boarding school when I was 11. So do all students who go to Hogwarts, but you don't see them moaning about it.
Yeah. I mean, this all has shades of. I'm reminded here of the scene in Ultimate Spider-Man in the comics when Peter gets reintroduced to Eddie Brock, because they were childhood friends in the Ultimate comics, and scenes very similar to this where they're reconnecting. So this definitely has shades of that.
Yeah, and I also noticed with the two villains here, Electro and Harry, they both have similarities with Peter. Yeah. Max Dillon is a complete nobody and a dork, and Harry, again, he got abandoned by his parents as well.
Yeah.
With there's rumour, of course, that Emma Stone could be back as Gwen Stacy in No Way Home. I mean, because of Into the Spider-Verse, I'd really love it if Emma Stone was Spider-Gwen.
That would be nice. That would be
great, I think.
I mean, people have apparently said they've spotted Kirsten Dunst somewhere around the set recently because they're doing reshoots. But I don't know, because the whole thing came about because they saw her supposedly with Deborah Ann Woll from Daredevil, and they were like, oh, they're bringing Daredevil in, but that got debunked, and it was just Kirsten Dunst's friend, like it was, but it looked eerily similar to her. But it was just one of those things. It was just like, they're probably just leave them alone. Not every Spider-Man actor is in the film now.
Yeah, just take a leaf out of Andrew Garfield's book. I'm not in the fucking movie! I'm not the werewolf!
I'm not the fucking werewolf.
Oh god, the original scene for this, there was saying, get rid of this guy. Okay. He just goes, the fire comes on, he turns on the music, opens up the zip, gets zapped.
Yeah. Yes,
That's just so weird.
This is quite gnarly, though. The rock on his face and everything.
Yeah.
I like the visuals of it.
Now, originally, he was gonna... Again, in the deleted scenes, there's a scene with Max and his mum. He has to look after her because she's sick.
Yeah.
She doesn't appreciate him. And apparently he was going to go over to their apartment and find that Oscorp have given her massive loads of money for compensation.
Yeah.
And that was going to piss him off even more.
He was going to kill her, right?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
That was the intention. He was going to go over there and kill her. And then go to Times Square.
Yeah.
Which makes more sense than what we get here, where he just goes straight to Times Square. Because it is just sort of like, well, if you've been in an accident, that's not the first place I go to. Because it's implied that he just makes his way there instinctively. I don't know. All this just it's like something out of an indie rom-com.
Yeah, he's probably causing more accidents here.
Yeah.
And the driver even says, "Get out of the street."
Yeah. It's just like, it's the song and everything, and him lustfully walking over to the girl in the crowd and everything. It's something out of a rom-com. It really is. It's like we've suddenly gone into full.
Yeah, and I love this scene. They're trying to be friends, but again, it just keeps going back to flirting.
Yeah.
They can't stay away from each other as a couple.
Their chemistry is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Again, I still think this is the best romance we've had in a Spider-Man film.
Yeah, it's great. They're so good together. And again, it does help that they were a thing briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Which apparently, Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst were for like 2 months in between the first two films, but it didn't last very long.
Ah, all right. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they said make up your own dialogue.
Yeah, no,
because it does feel very natural.
It does, yeah. And they talk over each other and everything, and yeah, it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody pointed out to me recently, though, and I can't unsee it every time I watch Emma Stone and things now, is that she does this thing with her mouth and her nose. Whenever she smells, she sort of starts talking like this. And it's like, I can't unsee it now.
Well, there is a reason for a quite husky voice. I think it's a condition she had when she was a kid.
Yes, yeah, I've read this. Apparently,
she cried a lot when she was like a baby or a toddler, and it damaged her vocal cords so much it left her with that that husky voice.
Yeah, which I guess worked out well for her, because that's kind of one of her most defining traits, I'd argue, as an actress, is the voice.
Definitely.
She's quite well known for that voice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really wouldn't want to be someone with a pacemaker next to Electro. My pacemaker, it's stuck on hummingbird. Nectar, I have to drink my weight in nectar. Ah!
Oh, he's just turned on detective mode in the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
Just detective vision on.
Sir, you have to go to Times Square. That's where the source of the problem is.
dude's the worst liar ever. For fuck's sake.
He is, yeah.
You told me. That's something like with The Simpsons or something.
Yeah.
Red flags. Run away.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny the way they've shot this as well. They've put him like in shadow and like underneath that tree, and it's like just once a day, sometimes more.
Well, at least it's not. At least it's not a. Don't look at me like that. It makes me uncomfortable. Sorry, m'lady. I'm moving to England. I keep forgetting that's the thing. She's gonna move to Oxford.
Yeah. Well, they have crime in England. They haven't caught Jack the Ripper yet.
Yeah, true.
Again, that's a plot you. There are just so many things in this you could just drop, and it would streamline it so much. Like
that would be a great pilot for a TV show.
Yeah, that's true. So this spider sense sound effect changed between films there?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting here, we've got another action scene in Times Square, the first Spider-Man film obviously had that, but here it's, I do like how it's different from the first film, and it's not just a repeat. Again, it's set at night, and... Yeah, I'd argue all the adverts and billboards just really make the colours come alive.
I like it, yeah. Yeah. Well, again, the Ultimate Spider-Man game did a scene like this. There's a boss fight with Electro in Times Square, although maybe this was inspired by that. Because I think you're playing as a Venom in that mission. You have to destroy all the billboards, otherwise he'll keep healing himself from the electricity and the billboards and stuff. So you kind of have to destroy them all by throwing cars at them, and then you can beat him.
Is Electro in the PS4 game then? He is. And is he green and yellow?
He looks like a normal human being, but his electricity is yellow, and he's got a green kind of suit on.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, it's pretty cool design, and he's got he's got scars on his face, and the scars are in the shape of the lightning bolt thing from the comics. So it's quite nice. It's a nice way of doing it.
I do think Oliver Harper put it best. This film, it's tries to be a drama 1 minute and then has slapstick comedy in it.
Yeah.
A bit like Superman 3.
It's very similar to Superman 3 and Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And I'd argue probably Batman Forever. So it's just similar to the third instalment of
well, I mean, the villains in this are quite similar to the villains in Batman and Robin. You've got blue villains, a green villain, and a dumb villain who doesn't say much.
I hope Mr. Bane can swim.
I hope Mr. Rhino can swim. You see me?
But this whole thing... So we haven't spoken about it yet, and I guess it was only a matter of time, but the score... What is happening to the score in this scene?
I like it, but...
Oh, really?
Why do... Yeah, okay, I like the incidental and instrumental music that we've got. I think it's good, but the whole My Enemy thing is so weird. Why edit it like that?
He hates
It'd be like if in the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight you had that.
Yeah.
Batman hates me. He punches me. And and now I'm gonna trick him, 'cause he is my enemy.
It's
Like, why put it in there?
Oh god, it's the dubstep as well. Like, it's awful. But like you say,
I don't mind the dubstep. I quite like the
oh, okay,
I like
fair
that
enough.
theme.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's just all this. It's just like it's the he lied to me. He shot at me. Like I just. It's awful. It's hilarious, but it's one of the weirdest.
I'm sure it was Sam.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, I'm sure it was Sam Gavin who said this, but I think he said, is Electro fucking the soundtrack?
It's true, it's true.
Sounds like it.
It's true. And the thing is, it's one of the weirdest film scores I've ever heard, because exactly like half of it is really great. Like I love the Peter and Gwen theme in this. Is really nicely done. I love the score later on with the scene between him and Aunt May. Again, the quieter stuff in the score with like the acoustic guitars and the little melodies
I
like
love
that. It's really
the,
nice.
And I really like the I'm Spider-Man track that I think it's called, which plays at the start and end, and yeah, it's just really good.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's but that's what I mean. It's like half of the score is great, and then half
it's
of
Hans Zimmer, but it's also what they called the Magnificent Six.
The Magnificent Six, yeah, with
isn't Junkie XL one of them?
Maybe I'll look up the name who was part of that supergroup now.
Yeah, I'm sure Junkie XL was part of them because he did Batman v Superman, didn't he? A lot again with Hans Zimmer, but
yeah,
I'm sure Hans Zimmer said after Batman v Superman he was moving away from superhero films.
That didn't last long.
Why? Yeah, what did he come back to do again?
He did Wonder Woman 84.
Right.
Think he did X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
So yeah, it didn't last long. So, oh God, where is it? Hans Zimmer and a supergroup called the Magnificent Six, consisting of Pharrell Williams,
That's it,
Mike
yeah.
Einziger, Junkie XL, Johnny Marr. Johnny fucking Marr is on this thing. And then people I can't pronounce their names off. It looks like it to be a Russian name. I can't pronounce it, but yeah, there were two others.
Here we go. You, in dialogue, you lied to me, and then cuts the song. That Spider-Man, he is my enemy.
Oh my God,
it's so weird.
It's awful. It's so bad. And like the whole so he turned against Spider-Man because he's hogging the publicity. Is that what he's doing?
When did he? I mean, when did Electro ever want to be the centre of attention? Yeah, I mean, I get he's ignored and he wants.
Yeah.
And yeah, he probably wants to be seen. He's tired of being ignored. I mean, I kind of take it as because he says you set me up. Maybe he thought Spider-Man set him up to look like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that really worth wanting to kill him?
It just makes no sense. It's just awful. It's awful motivation. It's terrible motivation for the villain. That bullet, that slow motion sequence there, that was great. That was really fun.
Now it's time for me to light my candles.
So in the space of 2 minutes, he's gone from ordinary person to maniacal, cackling villain who spits out evil one-liners like that.
Yeah, to be honest, at least with the lizard, you know, I felt he was developed enough, you know, the whole, all these souls lost and alone, I can save them. Here it's just, Spider-Man, die!
Yeah, there's an evolution there. And of course, you know, here we have the product placement as well, which to be fair, the first one did. The first one had a lot of product placement as well, but it's, we've got
honestly, I really don't care. I know people like to say, product placement, now we know how this film was funded, like, come on. A film acknowledging who's funding them, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it does, yeah. Sometimes it does, like the constant Sony.
Like, I just like to say, a lot of YouTubers go, product placement, yeah, but how many YouTubers now have to rely on sponsors and promoting them in the video?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's
come full circle now, hasn't it? I'd love to see the cut where Spider-Man gets ready for this action scene. Okay, better take care of him. Pass me that hose. Oh, I want that hat as well. It looks cool. There we go. He's down. That was easy. I do like this though. You go, Mike.
Yeah.
My department. That's cool.
That's nice.
It's like when Homer escapes the island, he pops that bubble that he thinks is going to be threatening. He was like, "Huh, that was easy." Why do you think a giant balloon would stop people? Shut up. That's why.
I like that as well. Like that, where everything slows down. He's still in Scotland. He's like, England, really? Like it's just again, human moments. That's what films excel at. I like that he looks exhausted as well.
And then we cut to this again. This song choice, it's so weird. I like the song on its own, but it does not match what Peter is feeling.
Oh no, yeah, we're back to random teen movie rom-com.
Again, I mean the lyrics are, "I'm not moving on. I'll love you long after you've gone," but that sounds like he's on about his relationship with Gwen when he's trying to find his parents.
Yes.
What?
It's an upbeat song. It's a very sort of upbeat song in a moment where I think it should be more melancholy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like you say, I don't mind the song on its own. Although, to be fair, if you say that on the internet, you're going to get crucified. For some reason, people hate this artist. I don't know why, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, it's odd.
Again, like with Coldplay in the first Amazing Spider-Man, didn't they have a deal with Philip Phillips?
I think so. Probably, yeah. He was...
Probably that's why they put it in.
Yeah. He's one of those... I think Philip Phillips was a guy who was on American Idol, and that's kind of where his success came from. But I don't know why people hate him. Like, people really rag on this.
Yeah.
I quite like the transition there, though, from diegetic to non-diegetic. Like, where he slams down on the bed and suddenly the song becomes quite full-on in the mix.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Bing didn't pay for the product placement this time around.
Well, at least he's learned to use Google this time.
See, like you say, it's jarring, isn't it? Because we're on a song that's like describing how he feels about Gwen, but
he's looking
switched,
for his parents.
Yeah, we switched to the parents angle again. Like, we're just going back and forth again, and it is so similar to Spider-Man 3 in that way. And it's just switching back and forth between like these. Do I have to lose you too? Yeah.
His ratings
are up, apparently. So yeah,
this stuff here feels very Stark technology, doesn't it?
Oh, it's very Stark.
But again, kind of like the antithesis of Stark tech, which again I do find it a shame they've not used Oscorp in the MCU yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here we go. Here's all the Easter eggs for the Sinister Six. As you can see in those files there, one is called the Venom Storage. You can see over there it says Max Dillon Experiment. I think one says Chameleon. This is lots of Sinister Six set up there.
And also Venom set up.
Yeah.
Kind of. The Spider Venom, give it to me. Wink wink.
Well, there's a lot of theories that Venom is supposedly set in this universe. In the Amazing Universe. Which would fit, and there's also theories that it's set in the Raimi universe, which doesn't fit to me. Like, I think it fits more in this than it does in those films.
How does Sorry, how does this guy have 257,000 views on this video, but only 2 subscribers?
Dude's bought views.
This was written by someone who doesn't understand how YouTube works.
Totally. He bought views.
Even when you have 100,000 subscribers, often you get 0 views.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He has bought views, yeah, I agree.
Here's another song that they had a deal with on the soundtrack, I think. It's gone a bit Back to the Future.
Holy shit, Doc! You just disintegrated my web shooter. Oh god! Also, I'm just gonna say the delivery here is so awful. No, Peter. I'm dying. Also, pick up some chocolate on your way over. Bye.
I mean,
I'm dying. Who the fuck says it like that?
I'm dying. Well, yeah. This is. We were talking about Emma Stone's voice earlier. Dane DeHaan's voice is similar in that he says everything like this.
Well, the funny thing is, again, the deleted scene that shows Peter arriving at Oscorp, and originally Harry was going to tell him that he's dying there, and something tells me they just took the audio of that clip and just applied it to this phone call, because it's literally the same inflections and how he says it. It's just
and you can find that scene in the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all this. It's just there's something seriously, because the deleted scenes that have been released, they're not just like odd little bits here and there that you can see why they were cut. They're moments that, if they were included, would have changed the trajectory of this franchise forever. Which is why it's absolutely baffling. Yeah, just...
He said it. He can do everything else a spider can.
Yeah. Well...
I'm sorry, you need to be Asian and playing a violin to say that.
A spin's a web!
I mean, we are on about natural dialogue, but who the fuck says, I don't think Spider-Man's up for shoving needles?
Yeah.
He's against shoving needles. He's an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, Christ. Oh, Spider-Man's an anti-vaxxer. No.
I mean, I do like Harry Osborn's journey here. He doesn't turn into a villain automatically. It's it's when he only gets the venom put into him. He's just a desperate person trying to survive a horrible situation.
Yeah, and then, well, that's it, yeah. And that's what I was going to say. The trajectory of this scene, the way this scene is played, is him, a desperate man, looking for a solution. In the trailer version, when he's showing Peter the surveillance stuff, it's all like, well, isn't that the question of the day? Like, it's all...
Yeah, in the trailer he seemed to be quite malicious.
Yeah, which I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything is... Yeah. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If somebody... In a perfect world, if I could have access to literally everything that was shot for this film, I'd love to make an edit of this. I really would. Because there's so much in there that...
I mean, again, heck, I think there was a petition for this to get a director's cut when it came out.
There was for ages, yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag release the web cut.
Yep. Like the Honest trailer said, and the only reason this director is qualified to direct a Spider-Man movie is because his last name is Webb. I mean, I do like saying, if you tell me where he is, I'll go ask him. And yeah, he does that. He doesn't have a big trap set up. He doesn't try and take his blood by force. He asks him like a regular human being.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense.
It's just weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a theory here. You know the scene later where Peter discovers the underground train that has all of his dad's research in it, and it says, only my blood is compatible. Do you think that scene was written to go before the scene where he tells Harry, I can't give you my blood? Because it gives Peter a reason not to give it, because he knows it's going to do something worse. Only he can do the cross-species genetics thing because of the bloodline.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, yeah, because as it plays in the film, it's all disjointed.
Bit of a dick move. I don't want your money. You don't want his money? The scene before, Aunt May was struggling to make ends meet. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many ideas that just clash and collide with each other that just don't fit. So now we've got. It's like Rise of
Skywalker, just a bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah, essentially.
Again, I do love these scenes with Peter and Gwen. They're great. They can't stay away from each other.
Yeah, and I like that. I'm sorry I couldn't take us to the Bahamas of hiding places.
That's such a funny line. Yeah.
Although, to be fair, this is fucking going into a bit of a raunchy scene in the closet here. You know, it's.
I'm surprised they didn't go further.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love this as well. He pretends to be a dork just to distract them.
Yes, I like the little heel click in a minute as he steps away as well.
Plus, I really hope there's no cameras around, because he just gave away his Spider-Man.
How did that woman not notice that on the trolley? Like, even just in a peripheral.
Wait, how did he tie his laces? We didn't see him go down or anything.
Magic.
Gwen Stacy. How did she not see him when she went into the lift?
Yeah, it's just.
It's not bigger on the inside. Oh. How does he know that's Gwen? I know Peter told him about him being with Gwen, but he doesn't know what she looks like. Unless she's wearing a name tag.
Magic, again.
A wizard You see, a wizard did it. Yes, but in scene 50, wizard. Oh, okay. I mean, nowadays, whenever I see a plot hole in a film, I just go, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
Yes. If we're going to introduce in Ravencroft as well, it's like...
Is it like the Arkham Asylum of Spider-Man?
Similar, yeah. It's a lot of dodgy experiments go on there.
Oh, we've got this guy. I want to know what you are. Why you are.
And I will get results. He comes out of a completely different film.
Why is this in the fucking film?
He is out of a completely different film. He's operating on such a Saturday morning cartoon level, and it just does not fit the film.
Did Joel Schumacher direct this bit? Why is he here? Why is he putting on the accent? Is that his real accent?
I fucking half expect Gossip Gertie to come out in a minute.
I half expect Professor Zaroff from Doctor Who to come in. So it is Electro. Nothing in the world can stop me now.
Just everything about his look, his hair and stuff. It's just like, what is happening?
Right, you are, and they will get results. To be honest, I don't think that is his real accent, because
it's so
I'm
exaggerated.
I'm sure Germans, when they speak English, they don't try and put a v sound when there should be a w sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm offensive, and I find this German. I can feel it in my veins. You can't contain it. I'm gonna kill the light. I'm Electro.
Well,
thought of it myself. Good, isn't it?
Wasn't the first teaser for this film, I seem to remember, it was just like a slow pan up this machine. It was him going, imagine a world without blah 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 blah, and it ended with imagine a world without Spider-Man, and it was that was the first look at this film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, how did he get here anyway? So, I'm assuming Spider-Man sprays him with the hose. The police tend to surround him, but I don't know, does a secret agent come in and say, we'll take it from here?
Probably. Maybe they shot that would explain it.
I mean, how much does the police know about Ravencroft? Is it supposed to be a super secret thing that no one knows about?
Yeah. Well, it's ambiguous. It's never really developed enough. Ravencroft is in Venom, I think. Let There Be Carnage, I think. From the trailer. Okay.
I love how he goes red when he's angry, kind of like Hades from Hercules. And you, I've got 24 hours to get rid of this bozo, or the entire scheme I've been setting up for 18 years goes up in smoke, and you are wearing his merchandise! You know what would piss off Electro more? If Dr. Kafka was wearing a Spider-Man shirt. You are wearing his merchandise! And then again, the film pulls me back to a good scene with Peter and Aunt May, because she says, she's basically telling him, your dad was never here for you, I was, and as far as I'm concerned, you're my boy.
This might be my favourite scene in the film, to be honest with you. It's so...
Yeah, and she's saying, I don't know how to raise you without Ben. It's great.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's Sally Field just acting her heart out and just being the brilliant actress that she is, and Andrew Garfield being the brilliant actor he is. And just knocking it out of the park. But, 2 minutes beforehand we were getting, and I will get the results. Electro, I'm Electro. He's turned Russian now, apparently, but no, yeah. So it's just two different films. It really is. Yeah. So this seems brilliant. And I mean, when was the last time we got like drama like this in a Spider-Man film, other than maybe?
No, you don't have to be No, you don't have to be Peter's surrogate mother. You've just got to be a MILF now.
Yeah, it's got to be a wacky.
We're gonna get there. I mean, if this was MCU, Aunt May, she'd have looked at that board and stickers he made and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Did you use your Peter Tingle to make this?
Please don't call it my Peter Tingle.
We'll fucking get there.
Well, next week.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just... I love this bit of the score as well. And it feels so real. It's such a real scene. And it seems like this that really raised the film up for me. Like, really just save it.
again, when we go back to Mark Webb's strength as a director, which I think is dialogue scenes, the films can really shine. It's just when they go all surreal and completely out there, the film just falls flat.
And I don't blame Mark Webb for a lot of this. I blame the script and also the weird decisions made in the editing room by Sony. Oh, I mean,
as you said, Avi Arad, he loved his villains. Like,
yeah.
What's he trying to tell us? Does he want to be a supervillain too?
I really like the obvious Martin Sheen stand in there as well.
Oh yeah.
He didn't bring him back for this.
Just get Charlie Sheen. He looks like him now.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting the only thing I know Martin Sheen for is the real Seymour Skinner in The Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
As much as I don't like that episode, he is pretty good in that.
Yeah.
Wait, he went to work at 7 a.m. and came home at 6 p.m? 13 hours? Is that legal?
Maybe, wow. That's pretty rough work day, actually, yeah. I'm currently on 8 till 6, and that's, like, give me another hour and I'm gone. I will not be able to function. So, props to Uncle Ben.
Well, over the summer I've done 10 hours, 10-hour shifts for a company, so there we go.
It's rough. How did they get in?
Just from the mannerism, window,
I guess.
I was just going to say, just from the mannerisms, how the hell can you not tell it's Peter?
I know, yeah, just...
And the voice as well, he's not even hiding it. I mean, I'll say this about the MCU Spider-Man, at least he has a voice changer.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, actually, that joke doesn't work for me, but I like that he has a voice changer, because it's just like, well, that's actually a good point. We get scenes like this where it's like, Andrew Garfield's got a pretty distinctive voice.
Yeah. I know what he should have done. He should have put on his British accent. Then again, that would have had people think, wait a minute, Spider-Man's British?
Yeah.
It amazes me. Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Henry Cavill, Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson, all British, and they've played iconic American superheroes.
Yeah. And I like that Spidey, when all this is done, he sits on the outside of the building, like, listening to all this.
Yeah. I do not have time. Your dad died when he was 63.
Yeah.
You're 20. You've got about 40 years. I mean, take the blood from him, but he's not going to stick it in him right away. He's going to do trials. He's going to do tests.
Well, well, this is it. It's so frustrating because it's like, well, have they established at all that this disease is quicker for Harry? Or is that a line? Or have we missed the line?
I have no idea.
It's frustrating because it's like, well,
there's a line later where Mencken says, "Looks like you're halfway in the ground already," but again, it's too vague.
Yeah, because
like if there was a line of Norman Osborn saying, It's genetic, but it goes faster down with each generation, or I don't know, some crap like that. I could have bought it.
That would be perfectly fine. But it's just so. Oh, it's so annoying because that plot line just is utter nonsense. It really is.
Mm-hmm. It's always weird seeing British actors in an American setting because they sound even more British than they usually do. They just sound more posh automatically. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just make it Harvard.
Yeah.
Unless that's close to New York.
This joke doesn't work at all. I'm sorry, my fair lady. God save the Queen. Like, it's just.
That kind of looks like he's trying to sabotage her interview. Just like.
It's a proper dick move, and like, it's feels very. I don't know. It just. See, I love this track as well. Because this, in the deleted scenes, there's a scene where he's on, like, the edge of, like, a building. Like, he's way up high, and he's just sort of... He's in his civilian clothes, and he's just, like, breathing and just taking his time and just being in the moment and just reflecting on everything. And it should come directly after this. Because you can hear the soundtrack building up to the same song that's in the deleted scenes. But it's... And it's a great little scene. It's a great little Spider-Man-y moment. The only problem with it is in the deleted scenes there's a massive wire hanging off him.
Yeah. But that shot's in the trailer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is in the trailer, yeah. And it would have become just then, and then leading into this. Yeah, like, the guitars on this track are really nice. They're really, like...
Have you ever seen the video? It came out around about 2015. Why the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is amazing. It's a 2-part video.
I haven't. No.
Well, you can't find it now because the original uploader took it down. And to be honest, it's a shame because she actually made some pretty good points, I think. And but then again, it's that this same individual thought that Ant-Man, Jurassic World, and Avengers: Age of Ultron were in the top 10 worst films of 2015. Like, really?
Yeah.
Though he took that video down as well.
So I don't know. I've just noticed. Has he got two? So he's got two monitors there, but they're not an extension of one another. They just show the same thing. That just seems a bit of a waste, to be honest with you.
Oh, President Roosevelt had polio?
Apparently.
Okay. I think when you go to the movies, you should learn something. If I may, sir, the spiders are still alive. They're in the basement.
Yeah.
Again, she is in a deleted scene where when he becomes the Goblin, she says, Harry, is that you? And it's when he first sees himself in the mirror as the Goblin.
So, he's just said, go home, Felicia, take the day off. It's sunset. What time would she have to take off?
Unless she's doing a night shift.
I guess so, yeah. In which case, wouldn't you say take the night off?
He's been drinking and he's dying.
Yeah.
I mean, does he just go up to people in the street and go, hey, I'm dying. I'd let you know.
Oh, here we go again, look. There's Sinister Six names in these files, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm sure if you zoom in, it'll be like... Because you can see Dr. Octopus's claws later on, and tentacles, rather, and Vulture's wings, and...
Plus, it was quite vague as to who they were going to have in the Sinister Six, so I'm assuming it's Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Vulture, Rhino...
Yeah.
I mean, who are the other two going to be? Craven and Mysterio?
Maybe. I don't I don't know. I mean, because we only see. Well, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. They probably would have squeezed them into introducing him in that film.
Yeah, I mean, I'm genuinely surprised because when they announced for Spider-Man Far From Home we're going abroad, I thought, oh, so could we get Craven? Because he is an international...
Yes.
He's a foreign villain, isn't
Yeah.
he?
Well, yeah, I thought maybe... Although, to be fair, Craven could be in a Black Panther film. Because obviously, Africa... You know, he's based in Africa and...
That might work. Personally, I'd love to see a Spider-Man and Ant-Man film, but that's only because their hero's named after insects.
What is it Bruce says it in Infinity War?
Yeah.
There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man?
So they let him go out by himself?
Worst security ever.
Isn't that like arresting someone and the criminal says, it's okay, I can arrest myself.
Yeah.
I'll go hand myself in at the nearest police station.
It's one of those films where characters make fucking stupid, idiotic decisions just so that the plot can get them from A to B. It's just... And this is all bollocks. I really don't... This is all just a load of shite. This is...
How did he set... Just... What?
It's awful.
How the fuck did he set this up?
It is awful.
There's an underground base and the train. Just... What?
10 years before this,
I mean,
we were getting a film where it was a focused human story about a man, you know, struggling to find his way through life, and now magic blood, secret underground bases,
spies,
alien spies.
I mean, I know why we were going to get... I know why they put a bit of espionage in this, because of the Aunt May prequel that's not going to happen.
Oh, Christ, what a load of shite that was.
Was it literally going to be a spy story?
It was literally going to reveal that Aunt May, before all this, was like a secret agent. And it was literally going to be what the fuck were they thinking? How... And I'm sorry, how would that have related to Spider-Man at all, other than the name? They could have just made a standalone spy story.
Exactly.
To be fair, who did Atomic Blonde? Was that Sony? Maybe that was what they were looking for.
Possibly, yeah.
But yeah, all this.
I mean, how long has he been... If he's, what... Okay, Peter's, 19 here? He was left behind when he was, 6? Something like that? So he kept this set up for 13 years and no one found it. I mean, to quote The Unusual Suspect again, stupid, too stupid, too stupid.
It's just such...
He chose not to upload this to... Now, I know Norman Osborn would have discredited his name here and probably told lies about Richard Parker, but he never thought to upload this to the CIA, the FBI, the police.
Well, I mean, what?
A figure of authority? Just
So this is... So like you said, this is presumably set in 2014. He's 19 years old. He was about, 8, 9, 10 when they abandoned him?
I think he looked about 6.
Even younger then. So that would have been at least in the early to mid-90s. At least.
Something like that, yeah.
How did he have this technology to be able to do all this? This is so...
I don't know.
And it's like the laptop at the start that looks like something from 2010, and it's supposed to be in the 90s. So fucking...
Or early 2000s, something like
90s
that.
or early 2000s, yeah.
If it was 13 years ago, let's say he's 19, it's 2014 here, they abandoned him, 2001?
Yeah, so... It just doesn't make sense.
I know.
And this just takes away so much, like the whole you were destined to be Spider-Man because the human DNA I planted in those spiders was my own. And it's just like, well... And then literally the message of Into the Spider-Verse a couple of years later is anyone can wear the mask. And it's just it's like, wow.
Plus, Oscorp can never replicate my experiments. Well, you clearly failed there because they're still planning to do fucking Sinister Six. I mean, I'd love to know how we survived the plane crash.
Parachute.
I mean, for the alternate ending, I mean.
Yeah.
I thought you were dead. Nope.
I thought you were dead. I was. And I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the ending of the first one kind of implied that Peter was sort of in a position where it was, okay, so I'm not going to get closure with my parents, but maybe that's okay, because I can channel that into Spider-Man. That's sort of what I got from the end of the first one. The feeling of I've been abandoned, so
I don't want anyone else to feel like I've been abandoned.
Because we get the whole voicemail from Uncle Ben where it's like, all your life you've been living with so many unresolved things, and
it's the underlying reason why he becomes a hero, so to live a life of responsibility. And it's a bit like with Batman, he doesn't want anyone to suffer the pain he did, which really pissed me off when that bit of script from the first Suicide Squad came out. Batman saying to Deadshot, when you'll be out again when you're old and grey and your daughter won't care about you. Yeah, Batman would totally fucking do that.
It's always awful. Release the Ayer cut to give David Ayer some closure, but at the same time, you can fucking keep it. I'm not.
No,
I've got James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I'm happy. I'm perfectly happy.
Again, to quote The Unusual Suspect, he said this about Clone Wars. Can filmmakers stop using the word "the" to differentiate franchises?
Yeah.
He's kind of right.
But that actually puzzles... This is going so off topic here, but, people are, like, boycotting James Gunn's film. And, like...
was that
standing outside cinemas and stuff and, like, giving it the middle finger and everything to support the Ayer cut, and it's like...
Yeah. I mean, do you think James Gunn made Suicide Squad to say, "Ooh, I'm going to undermine Zack Snyder"? Did he think? I swear, the way some people act, they think writers, directors, and actors are like Bond villains who rub their hands, stroke cats, and go.
It's just, and they seem to think these people seem to think Zack Snyder invented the art of filmmaking. And it's just like anything that isn't Zack is just automatically awful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I fair enough, build up the Ayer cut and everything, but David Ayer has said he hates the theatrical cut of Suicide Squad. So it's like, by tearing down the new one and praising the old one, you're just praising something that the director openly hates. And it's just like, and David Ayer has said, look, please support James Gunn's vision, because it's his film and he deserves all the success in the world. And it's like the fans have just completely ignored that.
Yeah, because when fans want to hate the new thing, they assume that the old guard is going to be on their side.
I don't know.
Because they're so narrow-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, to bring this back to the film, and Zack Snyder, Electro looks like Dr. Manhattan.
He does. He does.
No!
It's just...
He said no. Should we still do it? Yeah. I love that. Let's go catch a spider. That was in the trailer.
Yeah. So if I was making an edit of this, I'd cut out all the bollocks about the magic parents thing. But the problem is, with the footage we have available, you can't do that because you have to show him leaving the subway to get the call from Gwen. So you can't even remove that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just add a few stock sounds of him punching, so it makes it look like he's beating someone up, but like a villain or something. Then have him leave the subway. She's wearing the same clothes that Gwen wore in the comics.
When she died.
Well, yeah, when she dies, yeah. That's a nice touch.
So before this came out, and indeed when you're watching the film, it'd be pretty miraculous if you didn't guess that she was going to die. Because, you know...
It was in the trailer.
Chris Stuckman, I think, said it once. There's that shot in the trailer where he's like screaming in anguish, and Chris Stuckman was like, I wonder what would it take to get Peter so upset about that. I wouldn't think he would have forgotten Aunt May's eggs or something. And it's just like, well, yeah, it doesn't take a genius.
Remember me? You haven't met each other!
That's the fucking thing! You haven't fucking met! Well, to be fair, I think he was watching Electro when he was being experimented on, but it's just like, well...
But Max doesn't know that!
Max doesn't!
That'd be like me going up to David Tennant, I've never met him, and just be like, remember me?
Yeah, it's like...
No, I don't actually. Recalcitrant? Who the fuck says recalcitrant anymore? I know that's a nitpick, but this is just really annoying me. Right, I could be wrong, but apparently he's whistling the Jeopardy theme song. And apparently because he did that, they had to pay the rights for it.
Oh my god, you could have just fucking overdubbed something there.
You could have just had him say, Dane, can you not whisper the Jeopardy theme?
Yeah, alright, so you could have done that on set, which would have been the sensible route. But if you ran into that problem in editing, overdub it, you can't see what he's whistling.
Yeah.
It's not...
I mean, funnily enough, there's a similar story like that on A Clockwork Orange. The infamous singing in the rain scene.
Yeah.
They had no idea how to do that sexual assault scene, and obviously Malcolm McDowell just started doing "I'm singing in the rain." So Kubrick liked it so much, he was like, "Okay, I'm going to pay the rights for this," because that's how much of a mad filmmaker he was. Also, yeah, when he says the future, it sounds different here. In the trailer, it kind of sounded like Norman Osborn was saying it, the future.
It probably was.
Yeah. Here it's the future. Well, that ain't true. I mean, I can remember making a meme about this when they announced Spider-Man was in the MCU. I saw a picture of, Spider-Man alongside the Avengers, and it's Sony saying, "What is this?" And it's Marvel saying, "The future."
Yeah. Oh, I've just noticed the fucking name of that is Arrhenius Oscorpius.
What?
Dumb. That's so stupid.
So I don't know whether to be mad at Spider-Man for having the Oscorp name or Harry Potter for having the Arania name.
Yeah.
I'll just give him both middle fingers.
Why is he willingly letting this guy inject him in his arm that he's got the gun with? Inject it in the arm he's not using.
Or in his neck.
Yeah. But the thing is...
Maybe a little morphine will trigger my memory. Yeah. I remember the accident like it was yesterday. It happened today. You're hurting my buzz, man.
But the thing is, I think a lot of these like cheesy little things like the Arrhenius Oscorpius and stuff, it's similar. It's not out of the realms of like stuff that was in the Raimi films, but the difference there was that was sort of played with a knowing wink. And it's sort of like, yeah, we're being cheesy, but we know we're being cheesy and we're using it as part of the story. This takes itself so seriously, and there's no sense of like tongue-in-cheekness about
This
stuff
was
like that.
this was originally more graphic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His teeth were going to shatter, shoulders were going to get bigger.
Yeah, there's that one little shot of the shoulder blades that is heavily cut down in the theatrical cut. In what was originally intended, yeah, it's a lot more.
I do like this music here.
It's good.
I like how it changes when he gets into the suit. It's almost like the human being has gone. Now a monster is born.
The design of the goblin is just fucking weird, though. With the hair and everything. And
I don't mind him being a goblin creature, because...
Yeah.
Again, it's playing in with the whole cross-species genetics thing, but what species of animal looks like a goblin?
Yeah, and I just feel like if they were going to go all the way with it, like if they were going to do that, go all the way with it, don't just have a bit of shit on his face, gel his hair up, and have him go, Peter! Like, it's just like...
Hey, look, Spider-Man wrote "I love you" in the bridge, and he's picked up a girl. I know that girl. That's Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
Oh, Peter Parker's dating Gwen Stacy.
I mean,
wait a minute.
I like that moment a minute ago though, with the whole stop the car, lady. I ain't even moving. That's
pretty cool.
And this is a lovely scene. This is just the height of their chemistry. They're so brilliant.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the music's so good as well.
Mhm. But again, you're always going to be my path. I'm ditching everything to go to England. So, you're going to ditch your best friend and let him die a horrible disease? I mean, you don't know that he's found a way to, quote-unquote, cure himself. You're just going to leave him?
It's just, and as much as I like this exchange, I like the whole, so, England, they got crime in England, right, you know. That's all fun.
Yeah,
as much as I like it, it's just the whole thing, it just doesn't sit right with me that he's so prepared to just say fuck New York and...
Well, again, in the deleted scenes, there's a scene where Aunt May encourages him to go after Gwen, just like saying, she's on her way to the airport, go get her, go get her.
Yeah.
Like, you can't leave her, you love this girl. Like, yeah, had they kept that in, it would have made more sense.
Yes. As it is, it sounds like he just got the phone call and it's just like, oh, fuck everything, I'm going to go to England, and...
Yeah.
Thing is, I can't take that kiss seriously either, because they did a sketch on Saturday Night Live. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The kissing sketch.
Oh god, it's so
funny.
So funny. Yeah.
I can't take it seriously anymore.
The whole plane thing. It's so urgent that not even the characters are aware of it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're trying to say that Spider-Man will save people that he doesn't know he's saving, but why do it? It's...
Yeah.
Heck, if you want to raise the stakes, have Aunt May, I don't know, look after patients that are now dying because their intensive care equipment is down.
Yeah, exactly.
Have that be the conflict, because Peter knows that she's taking up nursing classes to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Again, that could be in the back of his mind while he's fighting Electro and getting the city lights back on, but yeah.
It's just another pointless detour.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Electro, taking over the electricity and having it all to himself, I could buy that being in a Spider-Man film if the rest of the film was like this.
Yeah, but it's just a film full of contradictions.
Yeah, because it is a dorky motivation, but again, he's like that in the comics. He's just a regular guy who got electricity power, so... Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally a regular guy who got electricity powers and it's like, nah, I'm gonna go rob banks, you know. Although my favourite version of Electro is from the 2003 CGI series, because in that they turn him into a victim of bullying, and it's like he's at college with Peter, and they turn him into a victim of bullying. He runs away from a party after just getting beaten up by a load of bullies. And he has the accident that turns him into Electro, and his whole character, he's taking revenge on these people because he sees it as like the students are the problem. He's trying to murder all the students to get revenge, you know. And it's a really brilliant sympathetic version of Electro, and I feel like that's kind of what they were trying to go for here, but it just gets lost. Because in that show they make a point where it's like, Peter Parker was obviously got bullied a lot in school as well, so there's this wonderful scene where Peter's like, look, I know what it's like, you don't have to do this and everything. But
I mean, we did miss it when she powered up his web shooters. Again, feels like a video game. Press C to activate turbo web shooters.
Yeah.
I like that, him following the electric trail.
It's visually very nice. Best CGI in any Spider-Man film, hands fucking down.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not including Spider-Verse in that because that's entirely CGI, but it's the best visual effects in any Spider-Man film. It looks so real, so
the final battle would have been better if he said, "Are you in or are you out? It's you who's out, Lecky. Out of your mind."
Yeah. What puzzles me about this? A minute ago, he was like, he's like, every time I get close to him, he fries my web shooters. You've only faced him once, and as far as you're concerned, he's in prison. You're not questioning how he suddenly escaped. It's just, oh, fucking hell, it's Electro again. It's like, well,
I feel like the maid. I just cleaned up this mess. Can we keep it clean for 10 minutes? Well, I like those lines. They feel like Spider-Man lines. A god named Sparkles?
Yeah, nice. This battle is awesome to watch. It's so cool.
Not this time. Is that all you got? Come on. Yeah.
And I like Gwen being miffed that she's stuck to the car as well. That's fun.
Apparently her saying Peter was a genuine mistake.
Oh, was it?
She was supposed to shout, "Spider-Man!" And I think the filmmakers liked it so much they thought, let's just keep it in.
It's a nice moment. I quite like it.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh! Get Tobey Maguire to play Electro. Oh, thank you, Gwen Stacy.
See, I'm not gonna lie. I thought for the longest time, in a minute, when he's like hanging up against the pillars and everything, and he's got the electricity and stuff, I thought that was a guy in a suit on a green screen stage, but it's entirely CGI, and it looks terrific.
Oh, right.
It's yeah. Oh God. I hate this song.
Oh, hi, Deadpool. Did you show up for a second?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, here. For ages, I just thought this was a guy on a green screen stage or something, but it's entirely CGI, and it looks so real. The visual effects have never been better in a Spider-Man film.
What cavemen bet people
what
to
are you, a caveman?
cars? What?
The film has taken a leap off a certain rail at this point. So this is the classic thing of use his own power against him.
Yeah. What you should do is take a leaf out of Doctor Who's book, use stock footage.
Yeah.
It works for The Timeless Children, it works for the Sarah Jane adventure story Death of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Stock footage.
That's the worst bit of Ghost Leary for me. That bit where he's just stood in front of the police car just then. That's the worst instance of it. Although, I've got to be honest, it's not happening as much as I remembered it. I always remembered it happening more.
It only happens... He only appears 3 times. But I can remember a review of this film coming out. They took issue of Spider-Man going yippee or woohoo.
Why?
Right. Actually, to be honest, that was Spoonie who said that. We all know how he's turned out.
This bit reminds me of Batman v Superman, to be honest.
What, the plane?
Well, yeah, just the whole thing where we've got a few shots of people on a plane, and then we've got massive destruction on some fucking far away from
Just speaking of Batman v Superman, on Rock Bottom or Simpson Boat posting, I noticed they had that scene and Superman says, "Is this the untimely end of Millhouse?" And then Batman's like, "But Millhouse is my name." So this is what it's like when doves cry. I've always said to people, if I ever get into a fight with you, my mum's called Jane.
There's no resolution to Electro's arc either, is there? He just dies.
He's a dork. He shuts down the lights. Spider-Man stops him.
He just dies. That's it. There's no, say what you will about Spider-Man 3, but every villain in that kind of has a resolution that befits their arc. So
that's true, yeah.
Eddie Brock, obviously, he gets so consumed by his selfishness that he kills himself just to be with the symbiote. Makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, the whole Sandman thing with the forgiveness angle, he gets a proper goodbye from the film. Harry dies. It's all feels like closure. Electro's character just dies and leaves the film, and it doesn't feel like the film is saying anything with that character's arc. He literally
well, you never know. They could have. Oh, I know what they should have done. They should have done a Last of the Time Lords thing. Yeah, this gadget here that he's got that shows his power. Yeah. Should have had a woman with red fingernails on pick it up. Have Electro's laughter. And then have his mum kiss it. So that's how he comes back to life.
His mum.
Yeah.
You said that, I'm just thinking of Polka Dot Man's mum from the Suicide Squad.
And a new challenger has entered the round. In glorious slow motion. I remember when The Unusual Suspect, in the build-up to him reviewing it, he got so many requests to do this.
It was insane.
It was kind of scary. I mean, I wanted him to do other films before he moved on to this, but yeah, I think when he did a poll for vote for my next movie review, this came number one. Landslide. Yeah.
Peter.
I mean, I think we missed it, but Peter's expression in the suit was like, what the fuck?
I love that moment. You can almost see his face through the suit. It's a really nice bit of... And it kind of proves you don't really need the animated eyes to show expression.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an interesting idea here that Spider-Man gives the city hope.
Yeah.
And the villains are created when he doesn't show that hope or takes it away from people. Interesting idea.
It is an interesting idea, but if we had a whole film maybe exploring that, it'd be a worthwhile journey to go down.
I'd argue we kind of do here, but again, it's just butchered by stupid notes.
Yeah, it's just
and what was it? You've got Peter feeling abandoned by his parents, Gwen feeling let down by Peter, Electro being abandoned by Spider-Man, Green Goblin feeling abandoned by a lot of people around him.
But that's the thing, it's just it never gets time to explore those properly because it's so so cynical, and it's so fueled by it's one of the most obvious films I've ever seen where you can tell that they're trying to set things up, and they don't care about the film they're telling. They just want to. But that's the conflict. I think you can feel a conflict between the people making the film and the people high up giving the filmmakers notes. You
sticking their big Pinocchio nose in it.
You can feel that conflict because these people want to make a film and focus on this story, but the people higher up just want to set up other things, and it's so painfully obvious that that's all they want to do.
You've got people. It's like getting people who are sitting down calmly trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. Then you get the writer who's had way too many Red Bull energy drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
And comes up with daft ideas.
And it insults your intelligence in the process because it's just like, well, if you're not gonna focus on this story, why should I be invested for more?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean when I said don't blame the filmmakers, because it feels like they are. It just feels like the people in control.
I'd be more on task to blame the producers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely producers.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the symbolic nature of this. It's in a clock tower.
Yeah.
Her death is literally ticking down.
Yes, that's nice. That is nice.
Now, again, isn't there a deleted scene where after this, doesn't Spider-Man beat the Goblin half to death before coming to his senses after Gwen dies? Yeah,
that is a thing that was shot. Yeah.
I mean, I do like. Again, it's on the nose, but I do like the outstretched hand because it just perfectly matches their relationship, I think.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really don't like it, but I quite like it, and it's pretty violent the way she dies as well. The
smack of the head on the floor, just like
I love, and this is where I say that the filmmakers say this because this is brilliantly done.
Again, it's stellar acting from Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, and the way the sound is just silence. There's no music for a bit.
I mean, in the comics, she doesn't really hit her head against anything. It's pretty much hinted that when he grabbed her, it was a whiplash, which pretty much snapped her neck.
There's a snap sound effect when he grabs her, and it's like it's actually technically Spider-Man kills her because he grabs her
and obviously
breaks her neck.
Because from what I've heard, the Goblin just taunts him. He's like, "You did it, you and your stupid web. She was dead before she hit the ground."
And that was one of the most shocking moments in comics because it was like they've just killed. They killed off Spider-Man's love interest.
A love interest, yeah.
And it stuck. Well, for a while, anyway.
Oh my god, I just realised another connection between this and The Dark Knight. The love interest dies.
Yeah, love interest dies, yeah.
In fact, I love the Deadpool 2 pretty much took the entire piss out of that trope in its first 5 minutes. And it's so sudden and out of nowhere, but that's kind of the joke with that film. I love it. He just says please, he's such a mess, but it's great.
He is incredible. This is an incredible. It's so well done, and it's just
I can't do this without you.
It's leagues above a lot of other things in this. But
the clock there, isn't it one? Doesn't she die in issue 121? And the clock there is literally 121.
Right.
I do wonder.
Oh yeah, that's quite cool. You got to feel for Gwen's family as well, losing their.
They lost their dad and their daughter. Sister for the siblings, but
it's so you got to feel for them.
All in what, 1 year?
Yeah, space of 1 year, couple of years, yeah.
Ever since they met Peter Parker.
Yeah, literally.
Stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah, and it's so I know a lot of people like they complain about Spider-Man 3 because Venom's only in it in the last act, but he's in it 35 minutes. In this, the Goblin was only in that for 10 minutes at most.
True.
He had no place there at all. I like all this stuff. I like Peter Morning.
Yeah, this montage, the passing of the seasons, yeah, it's great.
It is nice. It's, I question... I mean, that means that he gave up being Spider-Man for quite a long time. Like, a good year.
Yeah, if summer, autumn and winter has passed.
Yeah. It is... And there...
I mean, imagine if the film... Honestly, do you think... the reception might have been a bit better if the film literally ended there with him looking over Gwen's grave and we didn't have all this "in comes Mr. X."
Oh yeah, because this is all fucking a load of bullshit. This is all a load of shite. This is just, it doesn't... It's
Mr. X. I just call him Mr. X from that Simpsons episode where Homer becomes a mysterious internet person.
It's literally the end of Halloween 5. Because at the end of Halloween 5, they introduce this man in a black trench coat, and that's how the film ends. And he appears throughout the film, and the writers of Halloween 5 didn't know who he was. They were just like, oh, we'll leave it up to whoever writes Halloween 6. And that's literally what this is. They just introduced this weird man in black. But it's like all this... this is just so painfully transparent. This should be where we're focusing on Peter's grief.
Yeah.
So we've got Vulture, Doc Ock, Rhino.
Obviously Rhino, yeah.
It's just... I like that the kid comes back. I do...
Oh, they say he's been gone for 5 months.
Oh, okay. Wait, fucking 5 months. There's quite a lot of seasons to pass. Yeah. Also...
Yeah, I'm just thinking... August, that counts for the summer. September, October, November, that counts for those autumn scenes. December's in winter, so... Yeah. You've just got away with it.
But then this is in the summer again, though. Because there's no snow outside. It doesn't make sense. But I don't know. I nitpick there though, and this is such a nerdy thing. Traditionally in the comics, Spider-Man's webs dissolve after an hour or two, so there's no way that kid could still have the web on the on his windmill.
Okay, that's a bit far.
And it sucks because obviously we know that this just gets cancelled and none of these threads ever get followed up.
Yeah,
on.
Honestly, and him moving on from, and again, this scene, it's nice, but it should have been like the focus for, say, I know it's not happening, but the Amazing Spider-Man 3, where he learns to move on and from his grief. Yeah,
it's just so overstuffed.
I know.
And it doesn't feel like the film has earned this at all.
I know, yeah. Just,
Gwen's speech is nice.
Yeah, it's good.
I heard somewhere that this was all written by Emma Stone. Like, she wrote Gwen's speech.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was, yeah. And, what was I gonna say? What we need is Michael Caine as Alfred to come in and say, "Now go out there and be Spider-Man, sir." Imagine if Gwen had a butler. I've buried enough members of the Stacy family. All thanks to fucking you.
Gosh, that speech is so remarkably applicable to everything that Peter's going through.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they put that cameo from Flash in that is in the deleted scenes.
Yeah, true. Would have been a nice way to wrap that up. I love how these films had such an emphasis on cross-species genetics. Then they thought, nah, screw it, just put him in a metal rhino suit.
Funnily enough, when I watched this with my nan, the rhino bit came up and she was like, oh, for fuck's sake, who's this now? It's just like, that sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, now what?
Who's this now, right? I gotta say, this is really nice. I really like how this ends. Just this last 5 minutes or so.
I am the
Rhino.
You're not the Terminator. I told you I would be back. You never said I'll be back.
Yeah, like the kid putting the mountain and stuff. Yeah, right, what does she say?
Yeah, she just goes, no. She doesn't say Joe, I think.
I think it's the gunfire as well, because it like runs over the first part of the word, so it sort of sounds like But
I love this. I shoot on people, but a little kid.
Yeah.
No, I have standards.
I like this. I do, and then the real Spider-Man appears behind him and stuff. It's just.
Yeah, people say it's stupid, but I think it's supposed to represent how Spider-Man makes the city feel, for having hope and standing up to villains, standing up to bullies as well. And which is what Spider-Man did for him.
Exactly. And there's just that wonderful moment where they all look.
But when he's talking to the kid, he should have just had the perfect opportunity to shoot him. Yeah. New theory. This Spider-Man is the Tom Holland Spider-Man that Andrew Garfield regenerates into.
Yeah.
I will always remember when Spider-Man was me.
And I like this quip as well in a minute.
Real rhinos.
Yeah, on behalf of the city of New York and real rhinos everywhere, I order to put your mechanical paws in the air. It's really good.
Honestly, if they're going to bring the Rhino back for a future Spider-Man film, please put Paul Giamatti in.
So, of course, this was prime era of Sony putting the final shots of their films in the trailers. Because this...
Well, The Dark Knight did it.
Yeah.
But then again, you don't do that.
Because this was the final shot of all the trailers. And then it just ends, and it's just like, oh... Right, wow.
I do love that music.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the spider logo and everything. It is.
Though Oliver Harper called it an Olympic fan. Olympic fan.
Once he said that, I kind of couldn't unhear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a nice end. I like the note it ends on, because that logo coming up, it does sort of feel like, all right, we didn't get a third one, but that is a kind of. Just that one graphic is a bit of a bow, like tie
well,
up,
some people have joked that, if we're not getting a third one, are we going to assume that the Rhino just killed him then?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so, and it, of course, there was an X-Men thing in here, wasn't there, in the cinema?
Well, I did see it in the cinema, but I didn't watch it. No, I actually had what. When the credits came on, I just thought, okay, film's over, I'll go now.
Gone, yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't watch it in the cinema. No, I only heard about it online. I thought,
it's so
what?
weird.
So
yeah.
is Spider-Man getting a crossover with X-Men, which that led to a lot of confusion.
It confused me because I saw it and it was and it's still in the home video copies. The screen glitches out and then goes back into the credits.
Mm-hmm.
But and that glitch,
Yeah.
that's where the X-Men bit was in, and it was the scene from Days of Future Past at the military base, and it was just like, whoa, hang on, what? Like, it was just a weird thing, and it was bizarre that that they did it, and and yeah, look at all this title sequence at the end is advertising the Sinister Six. It's so irritating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That mask there looked like something out of 50 Shades.
But it's just like, well, it's so frustrating when it's so transparently trying to advertise something. It's like, don't care about the story we've just told about Peter and Gwen. No, look at all this Sinister Six stuff. Oh, look, it's Doc Ock's claws.
Again, Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Peter and Gwen do try and give this movie heart, but again, it's not enough to completely save the script that got eaten alive by notes.
Yeah, I think here coming up is the little maybe not. It's at some point soon is the little weird transition. I think it's here. No, every time I say I think it's here, more credits.
Is it when the song "It's On Again" stops? Do you think? Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
So that glitched out, and then we had the X-Men thing, and then it glitched back into the credits. So it was really weird, really bizarre. It's just shoved in there, and it's bizarre that they kept that glitching effect in the home video versions as well. It's like I feel like they've removed that anyway. Yeah, no. What a weird film.
I know. It's not one of the worst superhero films I've ever seen. There's far worse out there.
Yeah, there's worse out there.
But it's very frustrating because there's a good film here trying to get out, but it's eaten alive by the studio.
It makes me sad because I feel like Uncle Ben from Spider-Man 2. All the things you've been thinking about make me sad. It just makes me sad when I watch it, really. I'm just really sad whenever I watch it because I look at the talent that's here. And I just think,
exactly,
why these people were just screwed over by a really greedy studio at the end of the day. Trying to chase whatever trend was hot that week. And yeah, I guess, well, there's not much to say, but hashtag release the web cut. Or at least give us that footage.
Release. Exactly, release the web cut.
Because I just, like I said...
And have it be in 4:3 to respect the director's artistic intent.
Yeah, why not? I just feel sorry for everyone involved. I especially feel, we're at the last film now of Andrew Garfield. I just feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I keep thinking we've got another to go, but I just realised next week we are going into the MCU.
That's. And I guess I meant to mention it actually. There's a brilliant interview online where it's not even an interview; it's a sit-down conversation with Andrew Garfield and Amy Adams, and they both talk about their disappointment at getting to play these iconic characters and just having stories and studios that were just screwing them over. So, it's just, and it's kind of like, it's almost like therapy for them, almost. Like, because you got Amy Adams saying, well, yes, I'm playing Lois Lane, but it never feels like I'm playing Lois Lane because the story never does anything with her. And then Andrew just goes into this thing.
Funny enough...
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, funnily enough, after these films were cancelled, Andrew Garfield did, come out and say, because of the short time period, I never felt like I was Spider-Man. I've still got to pinch myself and say, I was the web slinger.
He has since come out and said he felt like that all he wanted to do was come in and play a character that had meant so much to him since he was 6 years old.
Yeah, definitely.
But he was getting, just completely screwed over by people who didn't care about the story. They just cared about money. He's the real victim in this, I think. In this
definite
mess. And like you say,
I know it's so
because there's so much in there that's setting up for something that's never going to happen. A lot of the time I'm watching it, I'm just like, well, why am I bothering getting invested in this? Because I'm just watching setup for something that's not going to materialise.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I think maybe at the time, it would have. I don't know. Oh, creative supervisor Tim Miller. He directed Deadpool.
Oh,
and
interesting.
He had a background in like visual effects, so that's probably the same one.
Oh, okay, right.
Because I think the first thing he did was like he would like direct CGI cinematics for like game trailers and everything. So
nice.
Yeah, it's probably the same Tim Miller. But and here's the soundtrack.
Yeah, and it's sad looking at the making of documentary on this.
Yeah.
It's like 100 minutes long. It's really good because you felt like the filmmakers, they tried, but the studio was like, I like villains. Put villains in.
Hello, I like money. Yeah, no.
What inspired you to make the Amazing Spider-Man 2 a setup for the Sinister Six movie? Money.
Yeah. The whole film is just. It's not. Objectively, I think it's probably the worst Spider-Man film we've got. I would take it over.
Yeah.
I would personally, just because of the stuff that's great in it, like the human drama, I would personally take it over the MCU films. And I know that's sacrilege to some people.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah.
I do. Yeah, I don't hate this film. It is frustrating, as you said, but if I had to pick this and an MCU Spider-Man film, I'd go for MCU Spider-Man all the time.
That's fair enough. I mean, I'm aware that my views on MCU Spidey are very messy.
I mean, I like what the MCU has done with Spider-Man, so I think the next two commentaries are going to be interesting.
I can't wait. It should be great. I'm planning. These next two commentaries are going to be my final word on MCU Spider-Man, because I'm just I get people asking me like, oh, why do you hate these films? And I'm like, I don't hate them, I just have issues with them. So I'm looking forward to that. So we hope you enjoyed the commentary, everyone. Next time, as we just discussed, we will be getting on to the MCU Spider-Man films, starting off with Spider-Man Homecoming, so check back next time for that. In the meantime, go subscribe to Isaac's channel, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.